When did you realize schools really don't care about kids? My little brother Mateo failed 4th grade because he missed 18 days of school. Our mom died on day 3. He was 9 years old, stopped speaking after the funeral, and instead of getting help, they marked him absent even when he was sitting right there in silence. I was 16, barely keeping us together, and I'll never forget him crying when I told him he had to repeat the year. This was spring 2019 at Lincoln Elementary in Bakersfield. Our mom, Carmen, had been battling ovarian cancer for 2 years, but we thought she was getting better. Then she had complications from surgery and was gone in 3 days. Dad had left when Mateo was 5, so it was just us. The first week back after the funeral, Mateo went to school but couldn't speak. Not wouldn't, couldn't. Grief had literally stolen his voice. He'd sit in class, do his work silently, but when teachers called on him, nothing would come out. Instead of recognizing trauma, Mrs. Patterson marked it as disruptive behavior. When Mateo couldn't participate in group reading, she sent him to the principal's office for refusing to comply with classroom expectations. He's not being defiant. I tried explaining to Principal Williams. He just lost his mom. He's processing grief. I understand this is difficult, but we can't make exceptions that disrupt the learning environment. What disruption? He's sitting quietly doing his work. Silent treatment is a form of acting out. We need him to participate verbally or he'll need to be removed. So they started sending Mateo home for being too quiet. Then they'd mark him absent for the days they sent him home. By April, he'd missed 18 days total. District policy was automatic retention after 15 unexcused absences. Mateo will need to repeat 4th grade unless he can pass the district proficiency exam, Mrs. Patterson informed me. Given his performance and attendance issues, we don't recommend he attempt it. The exam was in 2 weeks. A 9-year-old who hadn't spoken in school for 3 months was supposed to take a high-stakes test determining whether he moved forward or got held back. Does he get accommodations? Extended time? The test is standardized. No modifications allowed. I spent those weeks preparing Mateo at home. He would whisper answers to me, proving he understood the material, but the thought of testing at school made him panic. The night before the exam, I found him crying. "I don't want to take the test," he whispered. "I can't talk at school." "I know, buddy, but if you don't take it, you have to do 4th grade again." "Will I still be with my friends?" That's when I had to explain his friends would move to 5th grade without him, that he'd be with kids a year younger, starting over, because the school couldn't help a grieving child. Mateo took the test the next day, sat there for 4 hours, barely filling in answers, failed spectacularly. The school held him back, citing academic deficiencies and attendance issues related to behavioral problems. No grief counselor was offered, no trauma-informed strategies, no recognition that a child who'd lost his primary caregiver might need different support than detention and test threats. I started homeschooling Mateo the following year, found grief counseling resources, connected with other families who'd experienced loss. Slowly, his voice came back. By Christmas, he was speaking normally again, just not at Lincoln Elementary. When ready, I enrolled him at a different school with a counselor trained in childhood trauma. They placed him in 5th grade after assessing his abilities rather than his attendance record. He thrived. Mateo is 14 now, an 8th grade honor roll student. He wants to be a teacher because he says he'll never let a sad kid feel invisible in his classroom. Last month, I ran into Mrs. Patterson at Target. She asked how Mateo was doing. "He's in 8th grade with straight A's," I told her. "Oh, so holding him back really helped him mature." I just walked away. Some people will never understand that a child's grief isn't a behavioral problem to be punished. The system doesn't care about kids when test scores matter more than trauma, when attendance policies override humanity, when a 9-year-old's silence after losing his mother gets labeled as defiance instead of heartbreak. I realized schools don't care about kids the day they told me my grieving little brother was a discipline problem for being too sad to speak.